Today I went out estate sailing again, so I picked up I don't know if you guys remember these when they used to put these out in the construction zones. I had a Visual flasher. This was orange, this part, and was a little more, but anyway, I can't find it after a few moves, but this is called a night flasher, Los Angeles, California. I think these have a little photo cell, and then there's a blinker bulb, and you put a couple of 1.5-volt lantern batteries in it. But I probably will never put batteries in it. I just kind of thought it would be kind of neat just sitting here in the garage somewhere. So anyway, got that for $2. And you noticed in the last sale I bought a snowblower. I'll show you a little bit more of that here in a few minutes. I painted it up, but I got this rotor tiller, and I mainly bought it for the engine for like a mini bike project. But like I say, I have a friend that bought a house and is going to put in some gardens, and I think with those 2 tines there it'll be perfect. I think with more tines it would be too much for the garden she wants to do. So anyway, I found a belt for the forward. I gotta see if I have one that'll work on the reverse, because I think it needs both belts to work properly, because you push this button for reverse and then you pull this to make it go, but that somebody has stretched that out. But I think the belts kind of hold it in a neutral state between forward and reverse when you're supposed to take your hand off. So I might hunt around, but anyway, we got a belt. That engine runs perfect. It's a 1960, and like I say, I bought the tiller mainly for the engine for a mini bike project. But today, I'll show you what I picked up. Paid $10 for it. Maybe I paid too much, I don't know. But anyway, that's what I got, was a go-kart frame, and the front wheels broke off. No big deal. I can weld that back on, put some steering linkage on it. You can see that's all missing. That's an super easy to do up. I think this originally had like a body on it, a car body, but the brake, of course, and that's where the engine will bolt. And I'll have to make a seat and find a steering wheel, but this will be a future project, maybe this winter or sometime in the future. I'm just going to weld the wheel back on and put air in that tire, get the tires aired up, and then I'll just put it in the back garden for now and kind of hide it out of the way until I can get to it. But I think that'll be a fun little project. Make up a little go-kart. I can make more money on that than I can a rotor tiller, no doubt about that. So that's what I'm going to do with it. And the rotor tiller, like I say, when I take the engine off, put the rest of this out to the curb, and somebody will grab it, maybe put another engine on it or scrap it or whatever, or use it for parts. I don't care, but this is what I wanted, was that engine. Well, this is about a week later since I picked this up, but anyway, today I'm feeling pretty good, and I'm going to weld this wheel back on here. But you can see that was bent, so from what obviously they struck something. And this, I think, was one of those go-karts that had a body, and they probably just changed the frame out, instead of getting somebody to weld it up. I'm assuming that might be why this is just a stripped down bare frame. They probably fixed it with a new frame. But anyway, I'm going to weld that on. Eventually I'll heat this up with a torch and straighten it out, and after I weld it on. But I'm just going to weld it up so I can store it until I get to fixing it up or building something with it, or I might trade it for an old school mini bike frame. I'd rather do a mini bike than a go-kart, but paid next to nothing for it. So I bought it, and like I say, I could trade it. But I bought that at an estate sale. I bought this one at this snowblower I showed in one of my past videos. You can see I kind of cleaned it up and touched up the paint on it, and it starts first pull every time now. And I'm gonna probably, when we get our first snow, I'll sell it. This is the Oh, and the rotor tiller, I took the engine off. I bought the rotor tiller for the engine for an old school mini bike build. And I thought, well, I'll use the engine on the go-kart, but the gas tank hits the back of the seat frame right there. And so, you know, I probably will find a different engine in an estate sale or something. But I'll save this for an old school mini bike project. This is the orange paint. It's got the mounting hardware from that engine in here. But that is, so if you have a Montgomery Ward snowblower or anything Gilson made that's orange, that paint matches pretty darn good. It's not a perfect match, but it's pretty darn good match. I have no complaints with it. And this has a little surface rust, but I'll spray this with light lithium grease in there, and that won't rust anymore, and that'll allow that to give that some lubricant. But the main thing that was rusty was this bucket over here. If you look at the video when I bought it, and the inside of the bucket was in really good shape, a little tiny bit of surface rust in there. But anyway, that's all painted up. Took just one can of paint to touch it up. So anyway, this thing's pretty much all ready. So I still got to check the lubes and the gear cases, and I'll do that and top them off. And there is a grease fitting on the impeller on that side, and I'll grease that up, and then it'll be ready to go. But I wanted to get it painted up and cleaned up while the weather was nice. I can work on the other stuff when it's crummy out. But anyway, I'm going to drag the welder out so we can get this thing welded up. There you can see I gave it a good weld up, and you can see how it's bent from when it clocked whatever it did, and this side straight. So it's bent kind of in here, not here. So I'll just heat this with the torch closer to when I get ready to use it and just straighten that out. That'll be no big deal to straighten out, and I may have to move it this way or this way, you know, so everything sits true on the ground. But you can see it used to be a red frame. So anyway, now I can store it somewhere. Now I have to worry about the wheel kicking around till I can get to building something with it. You know, maybe I'll find a Predator engine or something, estate sale, who knows. But, you know, it's no big hurry. It's not like I have to have a go-kart to ride. But if somebody wants to trade a old school mini bike frame for a go-kart, I'd do an even trade. And I'd even be willing to throw it in the truck and drive a little bit, you know, maybe an hour maximum from the Detroit area. I'm kind of near the Detroit Zoo, Woodward and I-696 area. But again, like I say, if somebody wants to trade for a mini bike, I'm open to it. As long as this video's on estate sale stuff. I picked this up in an estate sale the other day. And check this out, a 59 Plymouth. This is an original, this is not a reproduction. And you can see where the information card was peeled out and sent in. But it's kind of an interesting, it's got a cut like a razor cut in that page right there. I don't know if that was due to taking this out or what, but you can see it's got like a black mark there. So I don't know what that is, but anyway, it just kind of a neat manual. So anyway, we got an owner's manual for a 59 Plymouth, even though I don't own one. Maybe in the future, who knows. Got this thing for tubes for TVs. When tubes go bad, you can dim picture and it kind of tells you what tubes might be bad, and you know, you can test your tubes and different, you know, for old televisions. So when people used to repair TV sets, now they're just throwaway, but back then people repaired them. And this thing on electroplating was kind of interesting. So it tells you how to chrome plate, how to make tanks, and you know what all you need chemical wise, tank wise, everything to do plating. And I'm not gonna go through every bit of it, but it's kind of interesting to read through. It's something that probably most people could do. If they really set their mind to it, they could do chrome plating. And the other thing was this Sylvania reference for tubes. The Bel Air has tubes in the radio, but it kind of gives you, it's like a cross-reference chart. So they give you the types and the, you know, all the information on the tubes, where they're used and whatnot. And I just thought it was interesting for, you know, the stuff was next to nothing. They almost give this kind of stuff away in estate sales. And I just thought it was kind of interesting stuff. But this is the main thing I wanted. I think Scott at Cold War Motors, I don't know if he has one for his 59 Fury or not. Maybe I'll send it off to him. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. I kind of like having stuff like that. But this oil can with the bigger reservoir, you know, when I want to add oil to, you know, things like that or whatever, you know, small engines, and you just need to add a little oil. These work pretty good, especially when they have a little bigger reservoir, and saves spilling oil everywhere, that's for sure. But anyway, that will probably be about the end of this estate sale video. I have a little health issue or update issue here. I've been going on reduced radiation for the past week, and I got one more week left. Well, I don't know when this video is going to go up, but my radiation will end on the 29th of September, and I'm looking so forward to it. But just the previous week of reduced radiation levels has made a vast improvement in how I feel and what I can do. So that's why I came out and welded the wheel on the go-kart. I bought that go-kart in estate sale a week or two ago. It has been sitting out in the driveway with the wheel sitting on it, getting in the way. And so today I thought I'll weld the wheel back on and stash it somewhere where it's out of sight in the garden, and until I can get a chance to work on it. You know, the things like that are things I do in the winter when it's, you know, there isn't a lot to do. So, and I was going to use that 1960 Briggs & Stratton off the rotor tiller, but I'd like to put that on a mini bike frame instead. And mini bikes to me are more usable than go-karts. I don't really have a place to ride a go-kart here. I don't have enough space, but, you know, and again, if somebody wants to trade, leave a comment or go to my about page and shoot me an email. I'd be more than happy to trade for a mini bike frame. So anyway, I'm going to end the video and right here. So if you like the video, hit the thumbs up button. If you like my channel, that 348 engine icon will subscribe you. And thank you for watching my video.